So today we are looking at upper and lower bounds. Okay, so I've got some Gcse questions for you. The first one, the length of a plank of wood is 950 millimeters, measured to the nearest 10 millimeters. Write down the least and the greatest possible values for the length of the plank. Okay, so let's have that number in the middle then. Let's have 950 millimeters. Okay, think rounding now. Okay, rounding to the nearest 10, which means we have to look at the units column, hundreds, tens and units, to help us with rounding this to the nearest 10. So the least value it could have been would be 945 millimeters. Okay, I'll put it in there as well. Okay, because if we round that to nearest 10, then the 5 makes the 4 go to a 5 to make 950. Remember this last digit here, 0 to 4 stay on the floor, 5 to 9 like to climb. Okay, so we're talking a bit about rounding. So then the greatest value then, some of you may be thinking, well it must be 954 then, because the 0 to 4 stay on the floor, so that'd make it 950. Okay, but if I put 0.9 on the end, it would still round to 950. You're right. I could make this 9 go on and on and on forever. I could make it recurring. Okay, it would still round to 950. However, if this is going on, okay, if it's recurring, that means it is extremely, extremely close to 955 millimeters. Okay, extremely close. It is that close, we are actually going to write 955. Okay, so I know those rules in your head about rounding now. Okay, you might be conflicting in your own heads, but for upper and lower bounds, as I say, it's that close to 955, we write down 955. So the greatest value would be 955. So for this one then, the side of a square tile is 20 centimeters. Measured to the nearest centimetre. Write down the least and the greatest. Well, if that's 20, then the least must be 19.5. Okay, because round that nearest centimetre makes it 20. Okay, for this one then, 20.5, remember our rule from here. Okay, so nearest centimetre, half a centimetre, below, half a centimetre above. Right, so that's the basic skill of upper and lower bounds. However, GCSE questions aren't normally as nice as this. They're normally worded questions which make you think outside the box. Okay, a lot of maths questions, you can learn a sequence of events, so easy methods to get the marks. However, upper and lower bounds, you've got to think a little bit more and think logically. So, this is a great example now. The length of a roll of plastic sheeting is 500 centimetres measured to the nearest 5 centimetres. Write down the least length and the greatest possible length of the roll of plastic sheeting. Well, this time, 500 centimetres to the nearest 5 centimetres. The last one was nearest 10 and nearest 1. Okay, nearest 5, so then we go 2.5 either way. Okay, you can see just half that. So it's 2.5 either side. So then the least length would be 497.5. Greatest possible length, 502.5 centimetres. A plastic sheet of length 100 centimetres is measured to the nearest 5 centimetres. It is cut from a roll of plastic sheeting. Find the least possible length of sheeting left on the roll. Right, there are a lot of words there. 100 centimetres, nearest 5. It's cut from a roll of plastic sheeting now, so you have to try and visualise the roll of sheeting. I'm thinking like of a roll of cling film now. Okay, obviously I've never seen this in real life, but I'm trying to relate to something I know. Think cling film rolling out on my kitchen worktop. Find the least possible length of the sheeting left on the roll. Okay, so hopefully you can now visualise that on your kitchen worktop. Well, if the whole thing is 500, Okay, for the least possible length left over, then we'd have to have the smallest amount or the least possible length of the plastic sheeting, okay, and then the greatest possible length of the sheet. Okay, so the roll. Okay, let's put an event here now. So in order to have the least amount left over, okay, we need to have shortest roll. Okay, and then we're going to subtract the longest plastic sheet. Okay, think F is the shortest roll on the kitchen worktop. Okay, shortest, and this one was the longest. It would have the least left over. So shortest roll would be 497.5 centimeters. Subtract the longest sheet. Well, if the sheet is 100 centimeters to the nearest 5 centimeters, the longest that could be would be 102.5 centimeters. Now we have to subtract. Let's use the column method. So the least possible left over would be 395 centimeters. Okay, the hardest part about this now is calculating this bit here. Okay, to work out what is needed to happen, you have to think logically in order to see it and then put your numbers in, and then it works. Another example. A truck can carry a load of 1,600 kilograms to the nearest 100 kilograms. A crate weighs 75, correct to the nearest 5. What is the maximum possible number of crates that could be placed on the truck? Okay, so think about this truck now. If we're trying to get the maximum possible number, then it needs to be, obviously, have a higher carry load. Okay, so to the nearest 100, that means the greatest then would be 1,650 kilograms. This is the truck. Okay, we then have the crate weighs 75 kilograms, correct to the nearest 5 kilograms. But if we want the maximum number of crates, then we need to think of this now, this crate, as the least possible weight. Okay, so the crate then, 75 kilograms to the nearest 5, the least value then would be 72.5 kilograms. Okay, so these are all in weights. However, we now need to find the possible number of crates. And the way we do that is by dividing these numbers here. Okay, we have 1,650 divided by 72.5. So the possible weight on the truck divided by the weight of each crate equals, I've got it down here, obviously you can use a calculator, I've got 22.758 blah 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 blah. However, you can't get 0.7 of a crate, so therefore it would be 22 crates. Okay, the key words to look for, okay, when it comes to upper and lower bounds is least, greatest, maximum, minimum. Look for those words, then think obviously either side, the lowest or the greatest value. Okay, also you need to think logically, try and picture it in your head, maybe even draw some diagrams, maybe that might help you. Okay, but again, practice makes perfect. Hope it helps.